Test. All right, let's see here. Okay. Kind of loud. That's better. All right, we're in business. Live chat. There we go. I should put some lamps around this, around the housing area. Let's see. This corner, one left. This will be a hard one to find. I'll just have to try it. Oops. All right. We're gonna do a lamp here. One of these guys. This one, then one left. I'll lamp this direction. It's like in the middle of here. I'm not exactly sure. We'll just try this, and if it's wrong, then we'll move it. Maybe like there. Oops. Hello. Let's go on 63. How are you doing? All right, this needs to go one left. These need to go one left, and then it'll be good. I just want to light the house up because I don't have any housing blocks that are lights yet. Yeah, I'm getting the Halloween event set up. I don't really know how I want to change it yet. I had a few ideas. I might scale the HP every single wave. Not exponentially, but by some flat amount. And then I might maybe do some, add some like ephemeral items to the power up box. What did I say? This needs to go left one. I also want to shrink this, I think. Hold on. I want to do this group. Oops. All right, that's better. All right, this is the housing area. Let's see, that should be fine. Whoops. Let's see how it feels. All right, cool. Yeah, because there's some pretty dark areas, which is fine, but This will be the ticket booth though. This will be the guy that you talk to, and then it'll spawn here, the arena. These have colliders on them? That's ridiculous. These little ones. I'm gonna remove that. I'm just gonna leave the big ones with colliders. Actually, I might remove the collider on all of them. Halloween. Or actually it might be in objects. Or it's gonna be like pumpkin. Base 1 by 1. I'm gonna do one that's just object asset. Instead of base 1 by 1, static, shadow, sprite data. Yeah, I just want base object. You can run through them. What's up, Vegas Eagle? How's it going? How you doing today? Bum. Bum. All right, that's decent. I'm gonna go throw a bunch of pumpkins everywhere now. If your legs are gonna sleep? What do you mean? No, she sleeps here all the time. Pins and needles. Sorry, Luna. Yeah, it'll be the carnival again. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? 5 stream streak. Nice. You had 450 for that? That's crazy. You have 30k points. Nice. I need to redo the sprite artwork for that. For some reason, it took away my stream streak, even though I've been here for all of them. Do you have to like click a button or something, or just by being there you get it? Dum bum dum bum 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 ba-dum. Is that Roger? Oh, you have to be there for a certain amount of time. Interesting. What's Halloween this year? Carnival again? If you answered, all right, I missed because the stream randomly muted. Yeah, it's the carnival again. I might change it a little bit, but I'm not sure. If you guys have any ideas of little things that make it more fun, I'd be willing to try them. I don't have a ton of time to put it together. Not that I don't want it to be good. It's just free dev sword. I just don't like the silted layer dungeons are not going to be in this patch. Almost 100% sure. A corn maze? Yeah, that might be too much for how little time I have to get this out. But I did put it in my list of future events. Once the game's out, I think that the once the game is out, oops, I guess we could do 2 here. It's a little bit easier to make more substantial events, I think. But right now I have to balance it with all the other stuff I have to do. Iris looks cool as heck. Gosh, my freaking keyboard. Wait, my keyboard looks cool or my cat? Can you see my keyboard? Something's going on with the editor where it keeps doing this weird flipping thing. Yeah, Luna is pretty cute. Oh, checking the fact session. Yeah. Was that tool you're using to add the pumpkins? Is it made by you? Yeah, this is like a custom editor I made with my game engine. I just let you like place tiles and place entities and stuff like that. Oh, I need to add some stuff for the Wizard's Tower. Hold on. I'm just gonna copy these guys. I'm gonna put them over here. We'll just do some clusters. I'm wondering if I need to buy a new keyboard though. Because sometimes I'm getting keys get stuck. Like some of the keys are getting stuck. Just gonna throw this here. All right, let's go run around town now and just see if the lighting looks okay. Dun, 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 dun. I'll add a light near her. So she needs a light. These guys are okay, kind of off by themselves. This stuff's lit up enough. It's just gonna be nighttime for a while. This needs some lights in it. I might add just candles inside the houses. This will be the carnival area. This is where the dungeon's gonna spawn. That's where you trade in tickets for cosmetics. And this guy you just talked to. This is fine. These guys need like a pumpkin over here. This is good. I'm just gonna leave this completely empty. Then the Hall of Heroes has good lights. Good. Okay. Why did it mute? Hold on. Why did you mute? Can I just use shuffle? Okay. Hopefully that works. You're building everything yourself? Game engine, util tools, everything? Yeah, I started with, what's that one? Oops. I started with that one tool called, it's like LDTK or something like that, which was pretty nice. But what's really nice about building your own editor is I can very quickly see exactly how it's gonna look. It did take a little bit of time to get it all together, but now that it's here, it's like, rather than placing something that's like an icon of what the item's gonna be, like for example, I could take this pole and like put another pole here, and I can immediately see like how it's gonna look, rather than just like icons and stuff like that. But then you have to build like some kind of, like some tools are a little bit tricky to make, like the selection and drag and drop stuff and all that jazz, but it also reuses like 90% of the same systems as my I'll put this here. It reuses like 90% of the same systems as my as my game does anyways, so it's just kind of nice to have like it be tested in multiple places at once. Oops. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm kind of distracted by this pumpkin placing. I think that's all I needed to do. Because this is all done. These just needed them in the corners to light up the inside of the room. Oh, I was gonna do candles, but I decided to just do pumpkins, I guess. That's fine. Okay, cool. That'll be that. But yeah, like the editor reuses like most of the game client code anyways, so it's not like I'm going on my way to write tons and tons of new stuff. The only downside is I need to make it, I need to make some systems run a little bit differently depending on if they're running the editor or the main game. But it's good for keeping, sometimes it's good to have two different use cases for the same like logic. That way you know it's going to be generic enough to support multiple use cases rather than just being like hard coded for one specific. Okay. I want to add some up here. I might just do a ring of candles. That feels ominous enough. Boom, bum, ba-dum, bum. But yeah, I started with LDTK and ended up moving away from it and just building my own. Should this be a safe mini game? That was something people were confused on last time. And I could try to implement it. This would be the first safe dungeon. So I guess if you die, you just go back to town or something. I'm gonna do this. Okay. That seems good enough. That seems Halloween themed. All right, let's see. I should have got water before I started streaming. That was my last sip. This looks good. Oh. Needs more pumpkins by where you spawn. Oh yeah, so you're instantly in like Halloween mode. Like around here. Like near the trees, you think? Or should I just, yeah, I guess I'll do it near the trees. I could also put it near the lamps. I could throw some near the lamps. Just in like the town center area. Other cat's here now. What you doing, Trunks? Gosh. This cat just bumps into everything. I know, you want to be petted. I'm gonna put this camera back. How's that? Hold on. Ow. Okay. Mythfall horror update. You can even color the trees to be orange and yellow and red for fall, but I digress. Yeah, I could try that. Let's see how the pumpkins do. I do like that. I like ideas like that. I don't want to get like too far down the weeds though. But yeah, I do like, it would be cool to have like seasonal stuff. I agree. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, pumpkins. The only downside with this is I want to put them on top of these, but then it's really hard to I guess I could just remove them. I might copy these and put them really far away. The cats are cleaning each other now. It's too cute. Priority Rogers. The problem is your guys' ideas are too good. That's the real issue. Okay. I'm gonna do one pumpkin over here. Like I want to keep how it used to be. I might just make like a hidden island over here. Out here. I guess I can, it doesn't have to be, I'll just do this. Then when Halloween's over, I can just put them back. My cat's like standing on my cable. Makes it really hard to move my mouse. All right, let's try this. I'm gonna get water while my cat's not sleeping on my lap. I'll be right back. playing Minecraft while listening. I heard Secret Island and came back. Thank you, Plop, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Okay, this looks pretty good. Obviously, all this stuff is just kind of like clouding up what it looks like, but I think it looks fine. I guess we could hide that stuff really quick. Let's go to global assets, and we'll do testing teleporters, false. Testing teleporters. Oh, never mind, that can be true. False, false. Yeah, I was just copy pasting some entities into a corner so I can put them back after Halloween. Unless I forget, then they'll just sit there forever. Nice, this looks decent. Very Halloween-esque. What would have been cool if I did a quest instead of this. I guess they still decorate everything anyways. Let's think. Should I try to make it safe? What's the black area for? That's where the portal spawns. Right now it's the exact same thing it used to be. Obviously I'll add the mobs from the other dungeons, but two ideas I had were instead of like also I don't know why that's happening, the double slash. But right now these guys have health based off of which dungeon they're in. So some of them have a lot of health. I can make their health scale with damage. Or rather, their health will just increase linearly every single wave. Halloween limit is about to tank in value yet again. Yeah, I know. Right now it's the same pattern. The only ideas I had were scale the HP up over every wave so it gets harder that way too. Let's be real, who was even trading them? That's also true. I could also make it safe. I was also thinking I could do power-up items that people get. But I'm not sure. Or I could work on trying to add like some kind of quest or something. Some other piece of content that's just like tied into this update. I don't think I'm gonna have time to get the worm dungeon finished though. I think this basically completes the decoration stuff though. We fix those. Blank. Bookshelf. That's fine. Man's too locked in. An idea for a new dungeon? Let's hear it. Oh wait, I need to do this. This. Thank you, Odor, for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Okay. I guess let's go through and add in all of the missing mobs. I also think I'm going to do the HP scaling. The other ones I'm not so sure about. I at least need to change Vesper's dialogue so that he doesn't say, so that he says something like this is a not safe minigame or something. Oops. Okay. And I did the assets, yeah, okay. Add Vespers Carnival back to the map and add Halloween decorations. Okay. Let's change his dialogue. It's probably in here. Is it not? What dev stack are you using? I use I wrote my own dev stack kind of. I mean, I use Golang. So I wrote a game engine inside of Golang and I use that for the game. So it's oh, all of these are, I'll just leave it, I guess. That's not a big deal. But yeah, so I use OpenGL, WebGL, because I do builds for browser. It's a browser game. I use WebRTC and WebSockets for networking. And I use Golang as the main language. And then I use Sprite for drawing. I wrote my ECS library for entity management. I wrote my rendering library. And all my like own math functions and stuff like that. The dungeon that would drop in after Ancient Ruins is called Desolate Drains. It would be a 5 or 4 skill dungeon. It would be a sewer that would either rarely spawn in a special room, exclusive to Ancient Ruins, or spawn after you beat the boss in the ruins like core spawns. What was I doing? I wanted to talk to him to get his dialogue so I could search for it. So find where this entity is. Step right up, one and all. Okay. Oh, it's in here. It's at the very bottom. How did I not see this? Oh, it's in prefabs. I see. Okay. It spawned after you beat the boss, like in ruins like core. So it'd be like a sub dungeon. And would have poison as the special effect, like Ruins has bind. Okay. Mobs would be rats, goblins, slimes, and rusty robots tied to ruins. That's cool. It's like a sewer dungeon. Desolate Drains. I like that. Oh, it's not called, this isn't called, oh, this is, I was right, Vespert. What did I want to do with him? Oh, I wanted to, change his fixes dialogue. Let's go to like Alavarg. Where do I do like effects? Ding 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 ding. I guess I do it in quests, don't I? Prefabs, quest trigger. All right, tutorial. Oh, this is all the tutorial stuff. Oh, here's all the special dialogue. The type of dungeon would have rooms, but in between them, we'd have a maze. So it'd feel like a unique dungeon. That could be cool. I don't know how I would do that exactly. Like a maze between rooms. What does this return? Dialogue. I might just throw a line at the here. All right, let's see how that looks. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not that hard to route a maze. I would maybe do rooms after maze plots, though. Or really, I think what you want is you want to have a big maze with rooms inside of it. Of course, hot reloader got me. Okay. You have been warned. Ba-da-ba-dum. Ba-da-ba-dum. Bum-bum. Because I don't think I'm going to make it safe. All right, let's make this commit. All right, so we gave him a little bit extra dialogue. I was gonna do colors. I guess we could. We have the dialogue here. Let's just. Did I push? I did. Whatever. Let's make it look good though. Hold on. Dialogue to dialogue. I'm gonna copy this. This is just the dialogue component. So we can customize exactly like what styles get drawn for what. Perhaps there could be puzzles you have to do to open doors progress to the dungeon to make it not just about killing mobs. Yeah, I know people do want that. It's hard. I do want to add stuff like that. It's hard though, just because what you end up doing is you end up making a puzzle, but puzzles are only fun one time. And then after that, it's like, now I have to go do this puzzle just to get to the boss, to get the drop, right? So it's a tough balance of like what makes it fun versus what's going to make it tedious over time. So I'm not sure exactly how to solve that. So if it's puzzles, it's going to be like it's probably going to be very simple puzzles. Or it's going to be more like just extra challenges you have to do. That's all I could think of, you know? Like the puzzle would be like, if you like activate certain levers in the dungeon, then it does some special thing, right? And then once you know that, there's not really a puzzle anymore, but you can still do that if you want to have that special condition added. Like that's pretty much all I could think of doing is stuff like that. I mean, there might be other ideas I haven't thought through really, but really, quest.message. This should be in calm, I think. All right, let's insert these now. I'm gonna comment this out. I guess I don't have to do any transitioning, do I? It's just gonna be one string of things. All right, so step right up, one and all. I'll just make it like a wave. Do I have a yellow wave? I'll do orange. Let me just copy these ones. We'll do Miss Mittens will be what's it called? Styled. What's it like? Quest.style default. Or no, sorry, this one would be quest. I'll do orange, or maybe I'll do purple. I don't know. I'm gonna make this whole one red. White, don't be careless or else you might. I kind of want to highlight the word carnival. We'll do this. Oh wait, I want to do. All right, so we'll highlight this word, carnival portal. Don't worry, then let's go back to white. That'll be white. Don't be careless or else you might not make it back one piece. That's fine. Miss Mittens will also be orange just to highlight that. And then we'll do an orange wave at the very start. All right, let's see how that looks. See if we like it. Boom, 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 boom. I think orange is hard because everything's lit up so orange. I'm gonna do purple as my highlight color for all of these. This one's nice to be orange though, because I think the entrance here is orange. Maybe I'll leave that one as orange. Oh, it's up for a hot reload. That looks very red. Not terrible, but at least they stand out. Okay, I think that's fine. I might move this function to calm. Do I use calm here? Yeah, I do. Okay. Prefab's Halloween. They have a bunch of stuff in Quest. I saw your ECS video from 3 years ago. It was really motivated me to try something to learn TypeScript, but I'm still kind of lost. Do you think if you have time, you can briefly show your ECS? What are you interested in learning about? I mean, I can try to answer your questions. I don't really know what I can do to show it though. It's just like a bunch of code. But also I don't know any TypeScript, so I'm not sure like how you model things in Go is probably very different from how you model them in TypeScript. Because Go, you can like, I don't know if TypeScript does this, but in Go you have like structs which are certain sizes. And you can make slices of structs, you know, like things aren't like abstracted through pointers or things like that TypeScript might do. I just don't know, I guess. I could make a package called style to hold all of this stuff. Oh, this is just a wrapper for dialog.message. I'm gonna leave the Quest one, I guess. Yeah, there's no structs in TypeScript, everything is a pointer. Yeah, I mean, that'll defeat the purpose of using an ECS, probably. Because the point of an ECS is you pack together all of your structs in a row, so when you iterate through it, it's very cache efficient. But if everything's a pointer, you're gonna have to do a pointer jump every single thing in your array. So it might not be the best fit for a language like that. All right, cool. As long as there's a warning for people that they're gonna die, then I'm okay with it. Last year, people complained, but I was interested in the architecture, like how the memory's organized. Let's see, upgraded Vesper's dialog to have text effects. I see. Are there any other common patterns of how to develop a game other than ECS? Yeah, I mean, there's kind of like two things people do these days. Well, there's like two approaches, I guess. You can either think of you're going to compose, like you in game a lot. I guess it depends on the game, right? There's maybe like if you had to split the world of all available games into, I don't know if this is a good explanation. I'm going to call it like, I'm just going to say you have simple games and you have complex games, right? In a simple game, you might have like 10 unique types of things that happen that are doing stuff in your game, right? Like if you think of Pong, you have like a ball, you have paddles, you have like your scoreboard. So this is like a simple game because there's only maybe 3 things that you have to deal with for a really simple version of Pong, right? But maybe also you have like some power up or something like that. Power up, right? So this is still a simple game. You don't need that much infrastructure to build something like this. You code a ball struct, you code a paddle struct, you code a scoreboard like tracker thing, you code some power ups that like fall towards the paddle and like they like slowly move and you have to like run into it or something like that, you know, like whatever. Like here's your power up, right? That'd be like a simple game. Then you have complicated games and you know, like you've got let's take like a first person shooter. So in a first person shooter, you've got like bullets that shoot, you've got these like characters that run around, or like we'll call them soldiers. And I don't know, you've got like walls, doors, maybe like pressure plates. Right? So the way you build games that are simple, and I think a lot of puzzle games fit into here. Like a lot of puzzle games fit into this category just because there's not much like composition that you want to be doing with like your puzzle elements, you know? But in games like this, you can just see like how there's a lot of overlap between what all of these things do, right? Like soldiers have to render, and maybe let's say like cars. Like you've got a soldier, he needs to be able to be rendered. You have to control him. He's got to be able to shoot guns. He's got to be able to jump. Right, so there's all of these like behaviors that the soldier has to do. And if you say like a car, there's like a lot of overlap, right? This also has to render. This also has to be like, it has to be drivable. So it's got to have some kind of control thing. Maybe it's got turrets that could be mounted to it that can shoot. Maybe it's got some like springs on the bottom that lets it jump, you know? So you end up with this idea in more complicated games that you want to be able to compose your complicated entities. Like these are complicated entities compared to like a paddle, where the paddle just goes up and down and like collides with stuff. Yeah, also these collide, right? Right, this also collides. So like there's just tons and tons of features that these all need. So you want to be able to compose individual features into a more complicated thing. Like this would have different, this might have different sets of components than the soldier, than like the bullets, than like walls, than like doors, you know? And they obviously have different data inside of each of these components. So that's where people start building these, like hierarchies, you might call it. So you need some way to build a hierarchy of like how you're going to think about these components, and it all depends on what the game you're making has in it and what features you need to have in your game. So if you need a lot of like you might break things up differently depending on how you want to overlap these features. There's no like one size fits all. So when you see game engines, they all have like a one size fits all thing, and you end up having to like bolt on your how you want to do stuff on top of like how they've done stuff, which can be a little bit confusing and tricky, right? So then how you do this, you either do it through like hierarchy or you do it through like the OOP way. I wrote that backwards. The OOP way would be like, here's my like base. And then I'm going to be like, oh, rendered things will inherit this thing. And then, well, cars and soldiers is what I called it. You have your soldier, and you have your car. But then like these might also need to inherit from like something else maybe that's like collidable. Right? So then maybe you say like, oh, well, there's a lot of these things I want to group together. So you end up building some like intermediate object, which is like renderable and, or we'll do a different color. This will be like renderable and collidable, you know? So you end up building this hierarchy, this like tree of how things inherit from each other. The downside with this approach is you could end up in situations where it just becomes really confusing on like what you're supposed to spring off of. And it might be hard to like reuse, like if you have some tree that formed over here, it might be hard to reuse some logic over here for this one because they're just so like logically separated. Like an inventory in a chest, you might want to have an inventory on your character, but chests are like super different from characters because they don't move or something. Now you have this weird like decoupling that you have to resolve and that, but this would be like the OOP approach. Then you have like the compositional approach, I'll call it. So you have your compositional approach, and this is where you just say like, well, I'm gonna have an entity, and this is gonna, like, I'm literally just gonna build pieces of data and throw them into my entity. I'm gonna build pieces of data, put them in my entity somehow, so that I can like compose these features into something. So you have your car, like your car ent, and that's got like wheels or wheels, and it's got like a, I don't know, like a turret or something, right? It's got all this stuff. And then you have like your soldier entity, and he might have like feet or legs or something instead of wheels, and he's got a health bar because he can be killed, you know? So he's got some different components, and you end up composing him differently based off of your baseline components that you build everything out of. And this is like the logical foundation for how people do ECSs. So ECSs just says, I have my entity here. I'm going to give him some ID, which is going to be some like uint value, which is kind of like, you could think of it as a database key. So this is your database key that's going to look up into some table. It's going to find some row. It's like, oh, this is key 7. So then you have your key 7, and then here's all of your components. Or, I mean, it's kind of like this, but you do it in a memory efficient way because you want to be fast, right? But if you're using something that you can't control memory on very easily, then maybe the approach, instead of doing this database structure to hold all of your data and having a database key, what you could do is you could just say, here's my entity. And this would work for maybe medium-sized games. Like, they're not super big. There's not that many entities on the screen. Like if you have millions of things bumping around, then you might need to do something like this. But for simpler things where you have like thousands of things, you might be able to just say like, I'm going to have my list of components. Or maybe you make it like a map, like a hash map or something, where it's like component type looks up a specific component. And then you can just keep a list of all your entities. This will be like your entity list. And then you can just loop through all your entities, look for the ones that have the right components, and then you can execute logic on those. So like this is the ECS approach. This is like a compositional approach that is similar to ECS logically, but it implements the backend like differently, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's what ECS shines. I see everyone moving away from object-oriented design. Yeah, but ECS is like two things, right? It's the logical thing, which is saying that the developer just wants to compose small components into a larger entity. So you can build up your behaviors that way. That's one side of it. And then the ECS side, like the ECS proper side, is this database memory organizational technique, which can just improve performance, but it's not like a requirement to do this compositional approach. Like you could think of it like this is the interface to ECS, and this is like the implementation of ECS. But I can't remember what they call them. They call them like entity component, but they don't say system or something like that. There's like names for doing stuff like this. But like you're still logically doing the same thing, which is to associate a list of components to your entity. It's just a matter of how you store it in memory is what's fundamentally different, you know? OP is definitely a pain if your game evolves too much. So TypeScript is hard capped by design, it seems. I was trying to hope making an online RPG, like every noob that wants to start with game dev. So you could start with ECS. So you could implement ECS with OOP if you wanted to. Yeah, you definitely could. Like you could make a, like in this hierarchy, you could make some base object, which all it does is have a list of like some interface, your component interface or something like that. And then you can implement those however you want, right? What's up, the Max G's? Chesse? The Newman X Chesse. Can you explain how script components work? How does, say, a C++ engine implement a script in Lua? I don't know exactly. I mean, I could like theorize on how they might do it. I know how I've done stuff in the past, not for games, but for other things. Let's see what exactly you wrote. Script components work. How does, say, a C++ engine implement script in Lua? Yeah, I mean, so on the like engine side, you like logically you need some part of your game loop to run some Lua script, right? So you have to have a system, which is going to have some loop inside of it. I guess we could do this, right? It's going to have some loop. This would be your system that like executes Lua scripts or something like that. Or you could have multiple systems that do different types or whatever you want to do. So your like game loop is going to give up control of itself to the script, and you probably want to pass in some like context values. So you might say like, here's like my world. That way it's got some like query engines for it to look up things. Like if it needs to look up like nearby monsters or nearby doors or nearby like loot on the ground or whatever it needs to look for, you have to pass in like, there's usually some global memory object which holds all of your stuff. In my game, I call it a world. So you want to pass in some of these variables to the script as a part of a function. And then like you have your Lua code, which would be like, I don't know Lua, so I'm just gonna write it in like some pseudocode type, C type pseudocode thing. You'd have like your update function. Like if you've ever seen Unity, how they do it, like how they have, or they do like some, I think they pass DT in it as like some time. You might pass world in as well. They probably just make world like some global thing, or whatever. We end up writing this like update loop. And then everything that you need, you could pass in, or you could make it globally accessible through some global table in Lua or whatever you want to do. But yeah, you basically just go through, interpret, have some Lua interpreter, interpret this code and execute it. And then you probably need to map on some like, I can't remember what they call them. You need like some foreign function interface calls, right? Because like your Lua code needs to be able to call some of these queries that exist on this world object. Like if there's a function in world that's like look up or like find mobs or something. Like if there's some function that it can call to like find nearby mobs, then the Lua interpreter needs to know about these. And then Lua is going to say like, oh, I want to call this function. And then the Lua interpreting engine is going to say, oh, that function's like over here. And it's going to call it and then return the value. And that's how I assume that stuff works. Though I don't really use Lua, so I'm not exactly 100% sure. But it would be something like this, right? You have some game loop in your system. You have some system in your game loop that's going to run, is going to go through and execute all of your scripts. And you can see this like mirrored in Unity. So they've got update, they've got like fixed update. And this stuff's written in C#, but the like structure is very similar, right? And they also have some way, I think they have this, where you can like order these to run in certain orders, you know? So then the script object can be attached to some component if you want in your ECS, or kind of whatever you want to do. I don't know if that explains it. I don't know if that answers your question about Lua scripting. My tab button, like, I don't understand what's happening. Sometimes this, some of my keys are getting stuck. I might need to get a new keyboard. How many different systems would a game like Mythfall have? Is it common to have many, or should we try to keep it as low as possible? I hate to even give like how you should do it. You should just try it and see what you like. That's what I'd say. I have over 100 systems probably. But what you end up doing is you end up making like you make a big system and it's too big. And then you're like, oh, actually, I kind of wanted 2 systems. And you split it in half and then you have 2 systems and it's not that big of a deal, you know? Or you like hard code something in there, right? You've hard coded some value and then you realize, oh, if I like pull this to a component, if I pull this into my component in my database table, then now I can like generalize this system across, like simplify 2 components into 1. You know, so you end up like finding these situations where you're able to simplify stuff. It's just like, it's so case dependent, based off what features your game needs, that I don't even want to like give you advice on how many you need. Like you need as many as you need to have. You need as many components as you need to have. You need as many systems as you need to have, you know? Like I don't think it's healthy to say like, oh, these need to be less than 100 lines and like, they can only know about like 2 things. But performance-wise, it's usually good to keep your components smaller. But if you're like, so for components that are on every single thing, I try to make those as small as possible. But components that are bigger, I don't care. Or sorry, when I say components that are bigger, what I meant to say was components that are, not run for every single entity, every single frame. Like position is run for every single entity for every single frame. I need to update the position. But like health's a bad example. Like a behavior tree on a monster is something that's not run every single frame. Because if it's too far from all the players, I don't run it. Because I don't need to, because nobody's nearby it. So I don't have to run the AI loop. So that stuff's not looped over every single frame. So it's all discretionary, you know? And the stuff I just deleted. Okay. Okay, wow. That was a lot of yapping. I'll check this off. Even though it's not safe, it'll be, at least there's a warning now. Yeah, I mean, I can either work on making, I really wanted to get the Halloween stuff done by tomorrow. And then I was going to try to get as far as I could on the worm dungeon, the new worm dungeon. Let me just think really quickly. I want to do the HP thing. I'm just gonna run this one. This is the same one. I don't know why this started happening. I feel like it might be more fun if the health wasn't scaled based off of what dungeon they come from. Because like this guy's a late game dungeon, so he just lives super long. But then the early game, also it's crazy how I got so many late game dungeon mobs. Like I think I'd rather scale their health with the wave count or something. So then you kill them really fast and then they die really slow later on. And then really the behavior that they have is what makes them harder or easier. Yeah, scale by wave count. I might do that. And then I also need to go through and add all the new mobs we've added, because I haven't updated this since last Halloween, the list of mobs that spawn. So it's all the older dungeons. All right, let's do those two things. Let me add them to my list though. After I kill this guy. All right, we're good. Thank you, Dozy, for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Welcome. All right, we'll do that. Let me add it to my list though. Yeah, lock HP, we have that one already. And then we'll do, oh yeah, add all the new mobs to the Carnival wave list. Oh, let's do that first. I also have some new bosses to add, like the Colossal Jellyfish and stuff. Not the Colossal, the, what I call it, Monarch Jellyfish or something like that. Cat incoming. Hey, what are you doing? All right, let's see here. Dungeon. All right, let's see. We have Ancient Ruins I added. Anubis. Anubis. What does that have? It has the it probably just has the, what's it called? The mummies. Maybe what I do, because I know I've only reworked the early biomes, I might just go through those. And we'll I'm just gonna do like new mobs. Stop it, Trunks. Is it added yet? What? Okay, cool crab we do. Horned Labyrinth is new. We want to do the jellyfish one though. Luminous Cavern. All right. The update or not? No, this is not added. This will be out on Thursday, probably. What's up, Jen? Okay. Luminous Cavern dot jellyfish small purple. What is this like what happened here? What is this highlighting? I'm so confused. That's so strange. Okay, whatever. Purple. Should have known it was just another Emacs bug. Large purple, a small large. This is just large. We have large blue. Okay, that'll be Luminous Cavern. What else is there? Pirate Cove. I think I did, right? Yeah, there's those. Should I add biome monsters too? I guess I could add some, huh? Scorpion, Silted Layer, we're not adding that. And then Stoneheart. I think this has a few new ones, doesn't it? Oh no, it does have this. Okay. Yeah, just Luminous Cavern. And then we had, we did the slime. Goopy Grove. Yeah, we'll do this one. This is going to be... Okay, there's that. At Goopy Grove. Let's just go ahead and add everything that we have in order. Discovery Strand. What was the other one called? Oh, there's like the crabs, isn't there? Cool crab. I'm just doing, I guess I'm just doing what's it called? I'm only doing dungeons here. That's what I had, I mean. Okay, we've got Elder Tree. We've got Stoneheart. Gremlin Pup. Dirt Golem helmet. There's also a new, oh yeah, Gorthon's Labyrinth, that's right. Okay, that's a few out of all of those. And then we'll do Ancient Ruins is one. Elvwood's another one. Then we'll add Gorthon's Labyrinth. These are all dungeon mobs. Yes, we've got these ones. Horned Labyrinth. Also, while I'm in here, there's one monster that I hate. The Minotaur Small. His attack just shoots way too fast. Speed, what was it before? 80? Let's do 50. Okay, we've got Scorpion. There's also Anubis. Yeah, Anubis. Then obviously these ones are like later on dungeons. Okay. It feels silly to just add everything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it like this, I think. I'm not gonna add any biome mobs, I guess. That's what I mean to say. Oh, there's also new bosses. Right next to Cool Crab, we'll do Luminous Cavern dot boss Monarch Jellyfish. I think I did Pirate. Yeah, here it is. Pirate Cove. These are all the tier 1s. Or sorry, the 0 skulls. And then we've got Elder Tree. Stoneheart. We can't do the slime boss because he splits. And I think it's going to confuse the wave system. So that'll be that. Then we'll have Anubis. And the Scorpion boss. Oh yeah, Horned Labyrinth, Moss Muddy. This one. I think this should work. Because he doesn't split at all, so I think he's fine. Okay. Isn't there the new jellyfish? Oh, this is good. Yeah, this is all there is. This is all the new ones. Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's do a quick playthrough. Is your game coded from scratch in Golang? Yeah, it is. All from scratch. And I use WebGL for like Go can compile to WebAssembly, so that was a bunch of hits. I do WebAssembly and WebGL for the browser version. Yeah, I think the early rounds of this will be way more fun, especially for newer players, if the health of these guys wasn't so high. Because then you could have these like harder mobs, but you still one-shot them. Because I feel like a new player is going to run in here and like they're not going to be able to kill some of these guys. Even though the damage level is really low at the start, which is kind of nice. Boom, boom, boom. You're killing me, Trunks. He's rolling on my keyboard. Aw. Okay, cool. This is a good test. We can see how this guy... I might make the cosmetics cost more though, because it'll make the early rounds way easier. Oh. Nice. Cool. The only thing we didn't test was the new Minotaur, like the minion one, the minion version of the Minotaur. We didn't test him. And then let's see. Mob factor. Did I push this? Let's push it. What's up, Tinspin? Yeah, so I have this lock strength. And I set this value before every wave. So we'll do the same thing. We'll do it for and what do I do? I think I do a 64. Actually, I'm not sure how this is going to work for health because bosses also spawn through this. Like, what I could do is right when I spawn the wave for the bosses, I'll set it to something and then I'll set it back to the original. That could maybe work. Come here. Oh. That could maybe work. Yeah. Friggin' trunks. I don't know why, because I feed them at 130, 145. You know what happens is they, for like the whole hour leading up to that moment, they're like right here in my face. Like begging for food. I need to train them better. I guess I'll do that because that'll all I want to do is spawn the bosses at a higher HP, but still scaled the same way. So what I might do is I might pass in the HP to lock it at. I'm trying to think if there's any downsides to this. Or I lock the HP up here. It is actually funny that we even do this at all. Current damage multiplier. Like this could be done all outside of it. Because all mobs get the same strength, even bosses do. All right. I just have to make sure that when the boss spawns, if he spawns something else, it has the normal mob health. What that does kind of mess up. Does it mess it up? I'm just thinking. We'll do it, whatever. I'm pretty sure it's 16 actually. And 16. I love how I call this current sequence. All right, so mob health is going to be, we're going to clamp it from 0 to max N16. That way it never goes around. And let's just look at the stats. Stats. Health. Vitality. Which is here. No, which is... You went to 32, okay. Max. You went 32. So wave 5 will be the first boss. 500 seems like too much. That would be 100. Maybe I'll do 25. 25 times 15. Um, 125 for the first boss. 5? Wave 10. 25 times 250 for the second boss. $15. That's just times 3, isn't it? It's just 125 times 3. 375. Yeah, because it'd be 15 waves. 25 health per wave times 375. Yeah. 25 times. I feel like it doesn't scale as much as it should. Now you're on wave 20 and you're only getting 500 HP per boss. 30, 20, that's 600, 50, 20, that's 1,000. But 50 and 5 would be 250. 65, 300. Wave 20 with 60 health per wave is 1,200. Let's do 75. Now we'll do 60. So every wave you'll get 60 more boss health. Boss health multiplier times current wave. S dot current wave. So the first boss will be wave 5 at 60. That'll be 300. Okay, that works. And it'll just scale up by 60, or I mean, it's gonna scale up by 5 times 60 every new boss, but then sometimes 2 bosses might spawn, so. Okay, that'll lock the health there. Do you need to use an additional difficulty curve multiplier? I could do a curve, but I don't really want to go exponential. But I could do maybe something more like this, like more curved upwards. But I think linear is going to be just fine. Because the mob damage is also scaling up. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the 60 in here. After we spawn all of them, I'm gonna set it back to the normal one. Normal mobs, I'll do 10. No, is that gonna be too much? Wave 5 times 10, that'd be 50. Maybe that's not that bad actually. 100. We'll do 15. Or I could clear it and then bosses could, but I think I'm just gonna set it back to what the default is. All right, let's do a little quick playthrough and just see how it feels. Because we don't necessarily, oh wait, I haven't done the other part. In the mob factory, I need to, I need to read this like I do for the lock strength. Halloween patch will release on October. No, it'll probably be on Thursday. Or Wednesday. HP lock. Lock health. We'll read mob stats again. I'm gonna do this though. Nah. It's a little bit wasteful, but it probably won't have the worm dungeon in it. I mean, if I can get it in, I'd love to, but it'll have most of the desert rework except for the worm dungeon and the worm set piece, the worm biome set piece. I just don't think I have I don't think I have time because I have to go to town this weekend. So I'm a little bit like cramming. I'm cramming a little bit. But the worm dungeon has the boss kind of working now. I just need to do the whole fight. What's up, Loki? How's it going? But Silted Layer's close. I just need to do it. There's just a lot of things that need to all come together. I have to finish the boss fight. I have to finish the set piece. I have to finish the all the items for it. And I have to do a bunch of testing. I just don't think I'm going to be able to do that and also add the carnival. Oh, I should have waited for we might have to wait for a minute. Saw some of your videos, loved them, but glad to get to stream. Oh, see a stream for more technical viewing. Nice. Yeah, some of it gets technical, but a lot of it is also just me drawing or something not super technical. Right now we're working on a like a Halloween update patch, which will be these cosmetics for sale. Oh, there's no collider here. Oh, the collider's off. The colliders were wrong for this one. I have to fix that. I have to fix that collider. All right, I just want to make sure they weren't scaled up for their drop rate. Okay, I mean, they have super low health, which is kind of nice. Sync code at all is more technical than you get in most devlogs. That's true. I like this way more for early waves. 23. They really have 50 health? I guess 40. Holy bounce. I always forget that one, that double shoots. Okay, I feel like they're getting more tanky. Also, that Minotaur is way better. He used to shoot the bullet really fast and it would like boom, boom. I'd always get double hit by it. These guys are getting pretty tanky though. It would be nice to get a dungeon that had a boss, or get a boss that does minions, so I can make sure that the minions aren't spawning with like hundreds of HP. We'll see how far we get. I think I'm gonna make more items that scale the dash stat, either giving you more dashes or having it regenerate a lot faster. Golly, that was a lot of bullets. Oh shoot, I'm dead. Oh, I think I had that book. We lucked into that one. The Immortal Chains book saved my life. I got the same boss, are you kidding me? He feels more tanky though, at least, so I think that the health scaling's working. Rigged. Yeah, watch there be a bug where it only rolls him. And I release the update and this is there's just multiple of these guys. Yikes. Great. Cocoa fruit milk. At least give him a pumpkin then. All right, these guys should have like 150 health each now. Yeah, I mean, that seems about right. It's hard. It's really hard to judge, but they do feel a lot tankier than before. I think this is a good scaling though. It makes the early waves easier. So what would happen before is you'd get early waves that are too hard because they're too tanky, or late waves that are too easy because you'd get like early game mobs that you could one shot. I don't know why I walked into that. I also need to add some more Halloween cosmetic items. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, I don't know why I blew that. Rip. Okay. Seems to kind of work. Okay, that was the lock HP thing. So now the HP scales per wave, which is nice. Oh, we went through the ticket counter collider. Are you hitching bad? On mine it seems fast, but sometimes sometimes when it compiles, it lags my stream. Gosh, I freaking this. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. Well, no, you're in game and you're getting killed. Yeah. You didn't have to say that last part about me getting killed. I'm just kidding. Yeah, what happens is the game runs and then the hot reloader runs behind it, and then it's like compiling while it's running the game. It's just not a good combo. It's on my list. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, the collider for the ticket counter. That's actually a mount point problem. I think this needs to go like here. Let me open another one. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna copy this mount point. We'll put it there. All right, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. All right, let's go just see how it looks. Cat wants a piece of the action. Yeah, he's like looking for his turn. Now that I've died, he wants a shot. Okay, yeah, we want to see the collider on this. Yeah, now the collider seems correct. Maybe it's a little bit off. I might shift it left. I might shift the mount point right by like 2. Oh, it's Halloween. What did I say, left? I want to shift the mount point right. Whoops. Wait, there's no mount point. What? I'm so confused. What just happened? Did there used to be one? All right, let's just make a new one. I thought I had one, but maybe I was wrong. Okay. This is like the anchor point for my game. This is how it tracks it. I'll just move it to the right by 2. I'm gonna move it up by 1 as well. So it's right there now. Okay, let's give this a shot. There was a 90% sure, yeah. I thought for sure there was. Sometimes I'll like copy a layer by accident in Sprite and it'll paste over the layer rather than pasting the pixels that I was trying to copy. So it could be that. That feels better. Yeah, I mean, I might go 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels or something. 3 or 4 pixels. 1, 2, 3. We'll try that. I think this will work. We don't have the editor, so we can shift it now that the mount point's different. Once I added multi-tile colliders for the housing system, I had to change how the colliders worked. The multi-tile colliders worked for every other entity, and I didn't. This was the one that I didn't fix. Oops. Ah, shoot, they're overlapped, so I can't. I just have to delete them both. All right, event, Halloween shop, and then there's a ticket counter. I think it's called Halloween ticket counter though, so it's probably at the H's. What's up, Dick Sherman Dev? How's it going? How we doing today? I really need like a lookup system for this. I have so many prefabs now. There it is. All right, we'll do that for the ticket counter. And I'm just gonna throw some of these around for decoration. I think it looks good. I think also Miss Mittens has a shadow, and I don't want her to have one. Or I wonder if, oh, let's see. Buddy. You poor cat. The ticket stand's looking great so far. Thank you, buddy. This cat's so pitiful when he's hungry. It's all just cries. For some reason, I thought there was a shadow that was accidentally beneath this. But I don't see it actually, so maybe it's okay. Though this pixel like lineup looks super strange to me. I'm gonna try to move this one like upwards or into the right a little bit. Yeah, that seems pretty good. It's weird how in pixel art, sometimes you'll just have pixels make like a shape that you didn't want them to make. And it breaks the illusion. Oh no, oh no, I actually did need to open the editor, didn't I? That's good. Okay, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this actually. Mount point. The one in the bottom left in the big pumpkin, the one in the bottom left, the big pumpkin looks kind of too far, moving it one pixel down, make it look a little bit better for the ticket stand. Oh, was it overlapping? Yeah, the one with the stand on the left side. Okay, let me look. That looks better. I mean, it's never gonna get perfect, but at least it's not like chunking out the left side. Or I could do like something like this maybe. Let's do that. I like that. Then you can kind of see it through. Okay, I'm happy with this. Got an ad for some Snapdragon laptop. That must have been Windows only, right? No vanilla Linux on those SoCs? I don't know. I know the M Snapdragon, that's ARM, right? I know that ever since Mac came out with their M series processors that are ARM based, Linux has done better on ARM. But I've never done Linux on ARM really, other than like Raspberry Pi. All right, this added HP scaling for, wait a second. I guess this dungeon also scales their HP based off users, yeah, which is separate. It's just I call it the same thing. I'll let you add HP scaling or. I'm going 3588. It's such good hardware with vanilla Linux. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. I basically just use like whatever x86 for my desktops at least. I had thought about setting up a Pi hole though for ads because ads have gotten so bad. I think I have a Raspberry Pi somewhere. I either gave it to someone or I let someone borrow it and never got it back. Either that or I have it in a box someplace. Okay, dig counter collider, and we locked HPs. And I'm not gonna do the power up items. I think if I ever, maybe for next year, I'll make it a little bit cooler. The only, yeah, I mean, either we work on the worm boss and I try to get it out, or I try to add more Halloween stuff. And I just accept the fact that I'm not gonna get the worm boss done, the worm dungeon finished. You try Arc Raiders? My 6600 from 2016 is still kicking with a new 3050 low profile. No, I haven't tried Arc Raiders. If it's in a box, it's gaining dust. It probably is in a box. What software is on screen right now? This is called Obsidian. Then there's a plugin you can install called Kanban, and it's pretty nice for like tracking tasks and stuff like that. So I use it for this. I also use it to track my patch notes, which I did a terrible job of this one. Oh wait, did I send it? Do I even have a v0.19? I need to make a new, what's it called? Like these were the changes for that patch. That was the last patch, but we have this one. Yeah, it's Obsidian. It just looks strange because it's the plugin. Obsidian's nice though. I'm a huge fan. All right, tasks. Yeah, of course. Or we could work on new mobs for the desert biomes, because that does need to be finished. Let's do that. Obsidian Rocks, I ended up planning my home lab with it and not and using it for my own game. Yeah, I like Obsidian. It's well done. I don't know how expensive it is, but I guess if they had some feature that would be like maybe the Obsidian backup thing would be nice to have. I literally this is just a part of my Git repo though. Like all of these files are just in my Git tree. So I just commit the changes with my code changes, which is actually kind of nice because then you can see like you have some part of your diff, which is like, oh, I checked this box. So clearly I thought I had completed this task, you know? Yeah, these are just all the different dungeons. I just, for the testing build, I just spawn them all in case I need to go run into one and test it. Or something like that. What was I gonna do? I think I was gonna do desert biome. Let me look at this. I don't know why this is happening. The double slash. Actually, we'll just do this. Do you have any unit tests? Yeah, I do. For certain things, I write unit tests. For most things, I don't. But I'll need to add that add-on. And it's not bad. I use it for free, but I have it on network drive, so all my devices can use it at home. Oh, nice. I'm not a big unit tester. I mean, this biome's basically the same. Let's go to Sunscript Sands and see. I guess we'll do a we'll just run around. Kit. Gold. We're a little bit under leveled. Because usually you'd be like level 10 probably by the time. My cats are fighting on my desk. They're either too tanky or I'm just too weak. Not that I have like a great build, but I do think I tend to make the game. I do think I tend to make mobs too tanky. Are you using Raylib? No, I'm not. I wrote a custom rendering engine in Golang. So quick to die there, what a noob. Hey now. I'm also maxed on this. I think these guys are just too tanky. This is more of a balance problem going into the tier 3 area, I think. Let me log in as a... do I have any accounts that are like... This is just too much though for this stage, I think. I wouldn't have that. But maybe you'd have like a few of the middle ones. It is hard, yeah. It's hard because I don't know if it's too hard or if I'm just bad or... Let me log in as my... Hold on. Mine is just that I'm bad. One thing I do try is, or what do I do? I don't think I purchased anything here. Oh, +1 skill, that's all. One thing I do for bosses is I will make sure that I can no-hit every segment, but I don't try to make sure that I can consistently no-hit every segment, if that makes sense. Like, if I'm good enough to do it one time without really practicing all that much, then I'll be like, okay, it's possible to get through. Then someone who's good can do it more consistently. So I'll make sure that things are no-hittable, but I won't make sure that I can like do the entire thing. So I'll chunk it up into segments, kind of like how you see speedrunners do like segmented speedruns. I'll do like a segmented boss fight. All right, let's do Kit Gold. Let's do Sunscript Sands. I don't want to fight him. I'll give myself a few. You guys still have a few skill points. So I'm not just super weak. It's also hard probably because this guy's kind of annoying. It's also hard because what's it called? There's so many gear builds people can do, and I haven't done a really good job of keeping each gear thing balanced together. So I'm just testing with like a sword, but like I doubt anybody's running around here with a full gold like armor build, you know? There's just a lot of mobs. I wonder if the density functions a little bit too... Like I feel like I have to run in really tight circles or I'm gonna like lure more mobs in. One of the guys doing Noia dev, he had a video a year ago where he did some math program, he uses it for calc damage and such for levels, which helps me get close for numbers. Yeah. I think for games where you're expected to take damage, you can do stuff like that. That kind of applies to every area of the game if you aren't killing enemies fast enough. Yeah, do you think that's just because of the changes? Maybe I'll decrease the density of each region a bit. What's your professional background? When you were you a game dev already or like a generic backend SWE? I started in embedded. I started electrical actually, then did embedded and then did backend dev. You end up strafing to dodge because you aren't killing fast. Then you aggro more mobs as a result. Yeah, let me decrease the density function. Because I just changed that last patch and I didn't hear anything about it. But I have noticed that there's just more mobs recently. Because now what it does is I chunk up the world. And I say like every chunk needs to have like 10 monsters in it. So if one guy runs over here, then this spawns another one. So yeah. Yeah, the reason is what was happening is before it was one big chunk and it was like you need to have like 10k mobs. So if someone would kill this area, like Vegas Eagle was trying to go kill for deer to get the antlers. So we killed all of the mobs in one area, and then those mobs would just get spawned other places. If that makes sense. Yeah, look what you did, Vig. Unbelievable. Oh, sorry. Trunks, don't bump that. How's the Warren Boss development going? I needed to work on the, I guess I didn't change the title, but I worked on the Halloween event today. But the Warren Boss is going well. I don't remember if you were here last time, but I did the network sorting. So now each armor plating is the right render level. And I finished, yeah, you were here. Yeah, because we talked about the commanding thing, the commanding interface. That stuff's all done now. And I made a generic search function system. And yeah. Ow. Man, your talons are sharp. Was it hard to go to game dev? What's your opinion of ECS? Do we really need it? I actually use ECS, so do we really need it? I actually had a really long rant about this earlier. I did a whole like, where did I start from? Yeah, if you want to go back in the VOD somewhere, you could maybe find it. Or look through the chat. Someone was asking. Samuel was asking about this at. How do I show times? Like timestamps? Oh, timestamps. At like 12:20 or something like that. I did a long rant about it. But I like ECS. I don't know. I love to be a dev, but I only know C#, and I'm self-taught. I think C# is a pretty good programming language for games, though. So, but I like ECS, though I do think it is probably over-applied. But I like that way of structuring stuff, where you keep data separate from functions. I'm a Go engineer, backend, 5-year in Go, 15 in backends, no game experience. I'm planning to do a game that is very sensitive to input latency. Do you think Go would be fine? GC runtime? Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on how sensitive to input latency you're worried about, but and like what you mean exactly by input latency. Like there's nothing inside of Go that's not preventable. Like you can prevent using the GC. If like you really need to be strict about it, but then you lose the memory manager, right? You have to manually manage everything, and Go's not super good at that, so you have to put up with some issues with it. But like Go is just as fast in terms of like executing instructions as any other language. It's just there's a little bit of frame time hitching. ECS is a weird way of programming, not really intuitive. Standard OOP feels more intuitive. Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of how you learn stuff, I think. I don't think either way is correct or incorrect. It's just about how you think about stuff, I think. ECS will be faster, but in terms of performance over OOP, probably, because you don't have to devirtualize function calls all the time. And your data is more like laid out, your data is laid out better, more organized in memory for the CPU to handle it. But if you don't need performance, then it doesn't matter. And if you want to do inheritance, then that's totally fine. Like ECS has its own issues that a lot of people don't actually talk about that much. Oh yeah, density function. Where is that? That's in manager? Do I even use this anymore? Oh, no. Oh, this is set piece count. Hold on. Oh, I do 2 mobs per chunk. That's so low. So I have to cut it in half. I don't know if I can go any lower. Let's see what 1 feels like. 1 might just not be enough. My cat's over there licking an empty bowl. That's how hungry he is. Gosh, let me feed these cats. I'll be right back while this is building. All right, sorry. Is it done as an int? I guess I'm going to guess it's done as an int, so you don't have to do whole numbers since you didn't go that path. I don't remember what I was talking about. What's up, Carlos? How's it going? Oh. The mob density. It's the problem is there's no such thing as like half of a mob inside of a chunk. Like a chunk either has like one mob or it's got two mobs. I would have to increase the chunk size. So the chunk would have to be like, instead of like 16 by 16, it'd have to be like 24 by 24 or something. That's how I'd have to decrease the, what's it called? Yeah. Oh shoot, I teleported on top of a boss. Sorry, one of my cats tries to steal the other cat's food. I guess nip that in the butt. Gosh, what a weirdo. So I might be looking over here a lot just to make sure. Okay. Oh shoot, I wasn't paying attention. I'm doing like no damage. I'm only doing 7, but before I was doing 12. I mean, there's definitely less mobs now, which is kind of nice, but I wonder if it feels too empty. But I guess we could try this. Yeah, the problem is I had no skill tree things activated. Also, I don't have the ring on. I have my defense ring on. There we go. Bum, 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 bum. It doesn't feel that empty though. That's true. Yeah, so having a low number might actually be okay. I did change it to 1, didn't I? Yeah. I don't know what my chunk size is though. I could also increase that a bit and go back to 2. This doesn't feel terrible though. We'll try this for this one. Gosh, this cat keeps doing this. Hold on. Stop it. No, it's I gave my cats food, but the one cat's trying to eat the other cat's food, and he keeps bullying her off of it. So I'll lock him out of the door. He's locked out now. Are they microchipped? No. They're indoor cats. Okay. I think I'm happy with one. We move this, and then this we change to 1. The scaling function to 1. I think 1's okay because worst case scenario, you move to a new chunk after you clear out your one little area. Okay. Let me just pick a short list of what I need to do before patch release. Like the most important things. We need new biome, special items. I need to separate the balance out for each T3 biome. I do need to redo the Elder Scarab fight, but I don't necessarily need to do that. And there's a few more mobs. Snakes, 2x. Or I'll do the green snake. Red snake. I want to get these in. Red bee, question mark, maybe. Oh, make spitter shoot some kind of poison ground splat. This is the worm spitter. We'll do beetle, question mark. That's all dungeon stuff. That's the set piece. And then this one. Oh no. Oh, I thought I lost that. All those changes. Okay. Oh no, I did lose all those changes. Great. That's my least favorite thing. That is the least of my favorite things. I had 2 indoor cats. We got a chip feeder, but it comes with a chip collar. It helped a ton because the first cat, couldn't steal food then. Yeah, well the problem is I feed them in different rooms and he goes and eats his food in a snap and then he comes and eats the other ones. That's weird though, he's never done that. Every other time he's always waited for her to finish and walk away and then he runs in and eats it. What'd you get the kitties anyway? I got mine with microchips in them. They're from a humane society, so I never had never had to consider getting them. Actually, now I don't know. Maybe they do have microchips. I got them from a like an animal rescue type thing. It's like a part animal hospital and part like animal rescue place. All right, we have to remake this list because I forgot everything. Hold on. No, I'll do it the one we got. The one we got from them, did it from the start. Yeah. Yeah, I genuinely cannot remember. It would be in the documents. I never worried about it because they were indoor cats. So I just kind of like left it. So, but they came like neutered and spayed and everything like that and had all their shots and were dewormed and all of that good stuff. Because microchips is only basically for if they run away and you want to find them or something. Is that right? Or are there other reasons to do it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, if I got outdoor cats, I might do that, but... Oh, it has your information in case they get out somehow. I see. Yeah. Okay. Green snake, red snake, make worm, spitter, shoot, poison, ground, splat. Oh yeah, balance. Split up health per T3 biome. And then I want to do desert biome special drops. We did snakes. Did I do red bee? Question mark. Oops. Beetle. It just has a unique ID that links your info in a database. I see. Oh, so you can look up the ID and then also good if your ex takes one and tries to get rid of them before the breakup. Oh my gosh. Did that happen to you? That sounds terrible. That we can do later. And then redo mobs in Temple of Anubis. Yeah, add some more. I think this is all that I wanted to do. Okay, let's get this stuff done. Yeah, so right now I have a tier 3 health settings, and I need to split these up per biome like I did for all the other ones. So we'll do that next. Crazy story, but the microchips made me think of this, lol. My cat got out and was lost for over 24 hours. My mom called us pet psychic, and they said she was under a car somewhere. Found him under a rusty car in the middle of a nearby forest. It was actually so crazy. That was wild. I guess it's not a terrible guess. I don't know how you guys are with psychics. I'm pretty skeptical about it, but I could see cats hiding under cars. I don't know. She was super spiritual into that stuff. Yeah. Max was cheating. This cat, Lila, would pee on her clothes every time she cheated. It was awesome. But my ex tried to take her and leave her in the parking lot. I got a call while at work. Oh my. That's wild. Cat's got your back though. What a legend. That's wild. That's hilarious. Ba-dum-bum. Well, at least you're finding more deers though, right? Hold on. Small is 100. Actually, these are 40. I might go from medium. 30, 60. Might do 60 for small. 80 for medium, and I'll do 90 for medium, and then I'll do 150 for large. I would sleep on my feet every night and then cuddle when my alarm went off. I mean, back-to-back chest and hand under my chin just purring. Aw, that's adorable. What's your HP scale between zones? Yeah, I mean, every zone has its own HP settings. Like, for example, Forgotten Grove is 40, 60, 120. I do the same for Elfwood and Enchanted Grove. These are all tier 2 or like 2 skull difficulty. And I just kind of manually scale it up. I don't do like a mathematical scaling thing. Desert, small, medium, large, elite. I don't know if this is used anywhere. Sunscript. Oh, the Jin. Waste, health, elite. I'll do 250. Okay, so we have Scorpion Waste. That seems like a good starting point. I'm gonna go ahead and that. Sunscript with, what's the other one? Not Silted, Dustburrow. Scorpion, health, egg. I'm gonna make eggs less healthy. I'm gonna make them 40. All right, now we just need to go through each of these and assign the correct health per thing. We have the 3 different ones, so that's nice. Okay, Dustburrow. Oh, SM. And then we have Scorvin, health, small. Scorvin, health, small. This is in Sunscript. This one's weird because it's Scarabs, but it's in the Scorvin Wastes. So I'll do Scorvin. Man, I have so many keyboard faults. Like, I press a button, it doesn't work. I might just need to clean my keyboard, maybe. Or buy a new one. For like $5 billion. Okay. All right, this no longer exists. I'm gonna leave it 100 just so I can see. Because I am nerfing health a lot for this biome. But we'll see. All right, medium. See, like that, it doesn't work. I don't know why. It's like I'm typing too fast. All right, then we have Oasis Sands. This is Scorvin Wastes, technically. This is Sunscript. All right. That one's done now. All right, then we have Dust Burrow, Health, Large. Scorvin. Which one's this? Sunscript. I feel like the Jin should have a special drop. What is this one? Sunscript. Yeah, but what would it do though? Gives you a skill point. Completes your quest. That could be cool. Yeah, it could work. I'll just make it a consumable that you consume to... I was thinking of a piece of gear at first, like Terraria. What would you equip, though? Like your ability? What does it do in Terraria? I have no idea. I think I see Genie Lamp and I think of RuneScape, where it like gives you XP or something like that. Oh, where do I put set piece healths? Ancient Destroyer. This is what I do. Okay. That's fine, I guess. Oops. Elder Scarab health boss. We have to change this to that. Did it again. It spawns flames that are stationary. Wait, hold on. It spawns flames that are stationary, and when you let go, they all home in on the nearest target. Oh, so you shoot and it spawns flames wherever you are. And then you let go and they all target something. That's interesting. I'm trying to think of how I network that though. I have to think about how I network that. No, it's an interesting idea. And I do need to create more variety with my weapons, so it's nice to have thoughts like that. I'm gonna nerf the health by these by 500 each. Where is my other, what are my other dungeons? Anubis? Anubis. Help, 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 help. How do you balance progression for new players? Do you have a playing time in mind when players should progress to 4 or 5-star dungeons? Is it a gear thing? I try to do something like this. I don't have a specific time, but it ends up, you end up doing stuff that leads things to, like, what you end up changing is how much time things take. But like, if something takes 30 minutes, and there's only like 2 things to do, then that's boring. So you can either make the 30 minutes shorter, like make it like 15 minutes, or you can increase the number of things to do in that difficulty range by like to like 8 or something like that, you know? So then like this might feel fun. And then the time you end up doing the 30 minutes, or you could do it this way and have a shorter time with less things to do, if that makes sense. So right now I'm trying to keep the same time roughly, but then increase the number of like increase the amount of content in each range, you know? I don't have a target really set too much. I just kind of do what feels natural, you know? But in terms of like high level planning, what I'll do is I'll play through, like my goal is to do something like this, where like you kind of have this like difficulty curve, and someone who's really good might start like up here, and they might be able to do really hard content at a really early point in time, just because they have a lot of skill in the game, or in similar games they're really good at bullet hells or something like that. But I try to make it so that there's like this but if you're really bad, or not as good, I should say, you might start here and you might not be able to like get to this next tier. So then what you do is you have to like grind further until you're able to like get enough items stacked up to like finally hit that difficulty threshold. So you can go to like tier 1 from like tier 0 or something like this, you know? But then also as you play more, you end up just getting better naturally. So like it's kind of a combination of gaining experience and gaining items and gaining things that improve your character ability that get you closer to like passing that threshold, if that makes sense. What's the other one? It's a Scorpion Wastes, the Scorpion. Watcher just has so much health. But I guess it's okay. I'm not really balancing set pieces and bosses too much yet, so. But yeah, I try to make gear and leveling up and stuff like that a way to get to harder difficulties, as well as like learning how to play the game better, learning how to dodge better and stuff. But I don't try to do like a timing thing. I guess another way I think about it is I try to, in terms of time, this being like time, and this being like difficulty, I try to make the amount of time you're spending in lower biomes kind of low, and I try to like, I try to do like something like this, I guess, where like in the tier 0 biomes, you get through them really quick. And then tier 1, it takes a little bit longer. Tier 2, it takes a little bit longer. And then all of the content I want to be like at end game, if that makes sense. Or like this is where most of the time would be. But I feel like it's not rewarding if this is just like 10 minutes, then that's not rewarding, right? So this needs to be a little bit substantial, I think. Wait, hold on. That was a weird shadow. I guess it's not terrible. Gear's way to complement skill instead of supplementing it then? Want players to get better versus just having the right gear? No, I think gear is important, and I think itemization is important, and like synergizing your gear with your skill tree is important. That's like the strategical side of the game. So I think it's like it's fun to have fun systems to interact with in that sense, you know, but it's not the only thing that's important. I try to make the boss fights in the later game more complicated than the boss fights in the early game. The boss fights in the early game are really basic. But then I add more things. Like I try to layer on like, oh, now there's like status effects, and now there's like more complicated behaviors, and like defeat these minions while this guy does this other thing, and also more complicated bullet patterns too. All right, we want that to be a spitter, like a spit with a splat thing. I'm gonna stop shooting. Boom, 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 boom. This feels like better health. Health levels. I am pretty underpowered though. Let me get some stats. Oh shoot. Maybe I should up the health. They do feel a little bit weak, but I'm gonna leave it. Let's go to Sunscript stands. I don't want to die. I wonder if now that their health is lower, I should have more mobs. Like I reduced the density, but then I also just decreased their health. It does feel pretty empty. I love stuff like this on the mini map where you see like the exact layout of this thing. I think that looks so cool. I'm so glad I spent time on my mini map system. I'm gonna go back to 2 on the density, or it's in sphere, I think. I just see how that feels. Oh shoot. I must escape. I'm only doing I guess I'm pretty low level. I'm only 6. Okay. I'll just do 2 skill points though. Let's go to Dustboro. I feel bad that this biome's not going to be like 100% done by the time this patch comes out, but yeah, I think now that the HP is lower, the biomes feel better. Like the kill rate's a lot lower, so you get less crowded. I'm gonna leave it like this, I think. Obviously we spawned into a boss fight, so that's not ideal, but okay. I think I'm content with this kill speed. Calculate somehow, love the comments. Yeah. Well, my thought is I'll have, depending on the biome, I'm probably gonna have some lookup table that says how dense I want the mobs to be there. But until I get to that point, I'm just gonna have it be a flat number. Reorganize all T3 biome mob healths into one file. Okay, I like that. All right, we did this one. Let's do this first one because that's pretty easy. I don't think it'll be that hard. We're gonna go to the Anubis dungeon. And there's a list of mobs that we spawn inside of here. I just want to add more from Sunscript Sands. I'm not going to add the Djinn. I'm going to add the Mummy Brute. Desert Priest, I might do him. He just fits. Yeah, we'll do the, and he also spawns a, this is gonna be Sunscript dot Oh my gosh. My spacebar is like not working sometimes. Okay, we're gonna make this rarer though. I'm just gonna do like 3x. I'm gonna make the gold scarab a little rare too. So what's this? 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, so this will be 1 in 10. 1 in 10 mobs will be a brute. Most of the time it's the normal mummies though. I like that. Let's just see how it feels really quick. It's always hard changing like some lookup or some randomly rolled table and like then you test it to see how it feels, but you only test for like how many hours do I need to test this to feel the average? Like you don't get a very good sense of things. Our first rolls are the 2 least probable mobs. Isn't that crazy? Wow, that guy's a sniper. Also, I'm doing like half the damage I should be. I mean, it feels fine. Okay, I'm happy. What's wrong, Luna? Okay. Anubis was kind of a boring dungeon because it only had the mummies really. So it'll be a little bit more interesting now, more variety. So that's good. How do you do sprites for the game? I draw them in A sprite. That is how I do them. Oops. If you want more of like a process thing, process-wise, I do tons and tons of experiments and I do a lot of iterations on things to turn like, what's a good example? Like you slowly build up like a worm sort of sprite and you add to it, add to it, add to it. And then you're like, oh, that looks good. And then this is what you add to the game. And I usually just do a bunch of concept art, get it exactly how I want it, and then I'll animate it. Because it's hard to change something after you animate it. So. Yeah, a lot of trial and error, stuff like that, to draw things. So it's nice to have a big file with a bunch of random stuff in there. I don't know if something's wrong with my keyboard or something's wrong with the thing I plug my keyboard into. Because like my tab will get stuck down or my spacebar gets stuck down. It's the strangest thing. Maybe there's just a bunch of cat hair in here. Anyways. What is next? Yeah, we can add a few new monsters. I think I have the sprites for these concepted, but I don't have... I do have them animated. Yeah, so let's make these mobs now. What biome though? Or we'll go to manager. Monsters. I could put them in the scorpion biome because there's only 3 in there right now. Or like your art style, it's so precise. Oh, thank you. It's turned out okay. I mean, if you look at my early YouTube videos, you'll see how bad it started. But I've been working on it for a while, so I've had time to like develop it, if that makes sense. But I've taken a lot of inspiration from a lot of other projects. So it's not like I'm inventing this art or anything like that. Like I'll find something I like the look of and I'll emulate that. I guess I'll put them in the scorpion biome, some snakes. Oh, I was gonna do the beetle in here, wasn't I? Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Let me give this cat some food. Hold on. Emacs editor is wild though. Yeah. I got lured into it. I really don't want to put these in here though, but I'm gonna. The problem, I guess it doesn't really muddle it too badly, does it? Throwing some snakes in the scorpion biome. I'll just do it, whatever. Okay. Yeah, I like Emacs though. That's just what I'm used to. I'm gonna clone it from here. The worms though. Worms small. All right, what did I call these? Mob snake green, mob snake red. Not the category. I'm gonna do 6. I feel like that's too big. 8's too big, it feels like. Monster base, that's right. Dustboro health, no, this is Scorpion. Health, small. The dungeon drop we'll have to do. And then this needs a new thing. Okay. Hold on. Loot, desert, mob, loot bundle. And we'll do the dungeon drop for this. What's up, Cretin? How's it going? All right, we got snake green. Monster type, snake green. Red. Okay, there's the snakes. The scorpions a little bit less frequency. Or really, I'm just gonna do 6, 6, 6, 6, I think. I will do 7 for those ones, sure. Okay, we need to figure out what sort of behavior these are gonna have though. I think for the red one, I'm gonna do like a double fang thing where it shoots like a 2 and then another 2. So I'll do an attack fan with 2 projectiles at like a point, like a 20% of a circle. That'll be the attack. And we'll do black and red. I'm gonna do, we'll see what 16 looks like. All right, that'll be that one. I want this to chase, I think. Actually, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of cool if it keeps just, I don't know. No, I'm gonna have a chase. Where's my worms? Chase? Wander. Pursue is what I called it. We'll have a pursue at speed 70. Green snake. I'm not sure. Green snake could do maybe I have no idea. That was a sentence I started thinking that midway through the sentence I'd come up with a name for it or a thing to do, but I couldn't come up with anything. Yeah, I forgot to do this. All right, let's try that. Let's see. A red scorpion. There's a green snake. This guy does the exact same thing as the worm though, which is kind of boring. That's way too wide. Lose 0.1. I wonder if I did a parallel. So it shoots 2 like this. That could be kind of interesting. The bolts should shoot faster. I'm gonna have this shoot. Man, it's so I feel like I need to do 0.05. Is this in radians? There's no way. One-eighth of a circle. Yeah, this is not in radians. Yeah. I'm gonna make the green one. I kind of want to make a purple snake now. I want to make a purple snake that shoots a 2 straight from a distance. Let's see how it feels. All right, let's try that. For the green one, if it's terrible, then if it's good, we'll add another one. If it's not, then we'll... Maybe we'll just do it for the green one. I don't know. Oops, wrong biome. I like it. It's just they're too close together. This is better though. All right, that's good. Maybe a little wider. I want to shoot the red one faster. I think I do 100 by default. I'll do 110. I like that. It's like snake bites. We'll just do 2, whatever. Let's go find a red one. Why is it going so slow? Did this one speed up? Did I speed up the wrong one? It might have gotten like sometimes my hot reloader will compile it, but not detect the new change because it wasn't finished compiling by the time the new change came through. Let me just rebuild the whole thing. That way there's no hot reloader issues. Bum, bum, ba-dum. All right, let's see. Okay, I like that. Cool. Okay, cool. Now Scorpion Waste has a little bit more interesting stuff. Red bee, I might not do that. Beetle, I might not do that either. Oh, let's do the worm spitter. Did I change any assets? What did I do with this? Or just rebuild it with a new version of Ace Bright. Actually, I might do this. I might do a full, because I just reinstalled Ace Bright with the new version. Let me go, hold on. Make. Oh, it's just rebuild. I'm just gonna rebuild everything really quickly. It'll be a lot of changes, but it's just going to be the version change for the sprite sheet file for every single animation. It'll also remove some, like this is going to be the change, but some things will have been deleted. Yeah, like this one got deleted, that one got deleted, that got deleted. Cool. All right, let's look at this. We just added the green snake and we added the red snake. And then we added those to the drop table for the, like the mob spawner system. Cool. What would be next? The spitter? We need like a poison splat animation. And then I need a like poison blob being shot. So that's probably just a blob and then a particle thing behind it, maybe. And the projectile, when it hits the ground, it just needs to spawn a splat that stays there for like 30 seconds or something. I might do this later though. I think I'm gonna take a break here. We got some good progress though. Finished the whole Vespers Carnival event stuff, and then all of this stuff. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream here, everybody. But thank you all for stopping in. Hope you had a good time, and I will see you next time. See you guys. Bye.